Welcome to this video of the model solutions to the ratio 1H shadow test. Sorry, 1AF shadow test. Right, first question, simplify these ratios into their simplest form. We're looking for a common factor which these numbers can both be divided by, and in this case that is 5. So if we divide both these numbers by 5, we get 1 to 6 as our ratio. In part B, the highest common factor of these two numbers is 2. We divide them by 2, we get 4 to 7. In C, the highest common factor of these three ratio parts is 5. We divide by 5, we get 1 to 3 to 2. And in part D, the highest common factor of all of those is 22. So we get 2 to 1 to 6. Question 2. A model of a boat is made using a scale of 1 to 6. Now when I see ratio in this form, what I do is create a little key like this. In other words, the real thing is 6 times bigger than the model. So if I want to turn from the model to the real thing, I times by 6. Oops. If I want to go from the real thing back to the model, I divide by 6. Okay, so if the length of the model is 50 centimeters, the real boat will be 50 times 6, 300 centimeters or 3 meters. It doesn't matter which answer you put down there because it doesn't say in the question which it needs. If the height of the real boat is 1.5 meters, what is the height of the model? So we're changing the real into the model, so we're going to divide by 6 and that will give us 0.25 meters. So you can either go for that or 25 centimeters, whichever you prefer. I'm going to just stick with meters, seeing as they use meters in the question. As long as you put your unit, it doesn't really matter, but you must put a unit on the answer line. Number 3. Here are the ingredients needed to make 12 shortcakes. Liz makes some shortcakes using 25 millilitres of milk. If you look at the recipe, it only needs 10 millilitres of milk. So how many shortcakes would this allow us to make, assuming we've got enough of all the rest of the ingredients? Well, we've times 10 by 2.5 to turn it into 25. So we can times the number of shortcakes by 2.5. And that would be, to double that would be 24, half of that is 6, you add them together you get 30. Robert has these amounts of those ingredients. Work out the greatest number of shortcakes Robert can make. So for this question, we're looking to find which ingredient limits him the most. So if we look at the sugar, he's got 500 grams, the recipe only needs 50. So hopefully you can see that he could make 10 lots of the recipe, if we're just considering the sugar. He's got 1,000 grams of butter, the recipe only needs 200, so that would allow him to make 5 lots of the recipe, because 5 lots of 200 go into 1,000. Again, same for the flour, he's got 1,000 grams or a kilogram, it only needs 200 grams, so 5 lots. And milk, he only needs 10, but he's got 500, so that would allow him to make 50 lots. But the limiting ingredients are these ones. Okay, so you can only make 5 lots of the recipe, so 5 lots of shortcakes, sorry, 5 lots of 12 shortcakes is 60. Okay, up onto the other side. What percentage of these grids are shaded? So I would write these as a fraction first out of what we have, so 3 out of 10 are shaded there. Percentage, remember, means per 100. Okay, so if I times both these numbers by 10, I get 30 over 100, so I can see that's going to be 30%. For part B, you might just be able to see that there's half of it is shaded, and you might just know that half is 50%. But if you didn't know that, then we've got 4 whole squares. Together these would make another whole square, these parts, so that's 5/10, which is going to be 50 over 100, and therefore 50%. Part C, we've got 6 whole ones shaded in, and then these 2 would make another whole one, so that's 7, and these would make another whole one, so that's 8. So we've got 8, whoops, got 8/10 shaded, and that's going to be 80 hundredths, so 80%. And then on the last one, if I were to combine two of these triangles, they would take up 4 squares, and these would make another 4 squares, so that's 8 squares out of the, how many are there altogether? There's 5 rows of 5 columns, so that's 25, so 8 out of 25, 8/25 is shaded. To turn that denominator into 100, we times by 4. So if we times 8 by 4, we get 32, so 32%. Number 5, a pack of 9 toilet rolls costs £4.23 and a pack of 4 toilet rolls costs £1.96. Which pack gives the better value for money? So we need to compare the same number of toilet rolls. 1 is always a good amount to go for. So if we want to turn this pack of 9 into 1, we need to divide it by 9. And we need to divide the cost by 9 as well. So 4.23 divided by 9. We can use our calculators on this test, I believe, yeah. It's not a hard one to do, it's one you could do using the bus stop method, but nevertheless, 47p per roll. And for the next one, £1.96 divided by 4, 49p, or £0.49p per roll. So what would you rather pay for one roll? Obviously the lower amount. So the pack of 9 is better value. Okay, make it clear in your answer which one you're going for. Now it might have seemed there that we just had a 50-50 guess to make if we didn't know how to do it, but even if you guessed right, without any working, you wouldn't get any marks. Okay, number 6, 550 gram box of cereal is this much, 800 grams is this much, which is better value. So we want to compare the same amount again. It's a bit harder this question to turn these into the same amount, but you could go for something like 50 grams, which is easy enough for them both to turn into, or 1 gram. It would give a very low amount of money, but I'm going to go for 1 gram. To turn 550 grams into 1, I've had to divide by 550. Now this is not going to give me a possible amount of money, but we should still be able to use it. So £1.65 divided by 550, so 1 gram costs 0.003 pounds. Okay, or not even 1 pence. I'll tell you what, let me just do this. Just show my working. So this one, £2.56, and I'm going to divide by 800 to find the cost of 1 gram. So that's 0.0032. Not much in it at all, but you can see that this lower one is slightly more expensive. So actually the 550 grams box is better value in this case. Okay. If 4 calculators cost £14.80, how much would 10 of them cost? So this is a straightforward direct proportion question. So 4 cost £14.80. Let's work out the cost of 1. So we divide the amount by 4, we therefore divide the cost by 4. And I think that's £3.70. And then 10 of them we're going to times by 10. So we're going to times the cost by 10. Don't need the calculator for that one. That one's going to be £37. Make sure you've got units on the answer line. And number 8, it takes 3 people 8 hours to build a wall. how long would it take 4 people? So this is an inverse proportion question, because if we increase the number of people, the amount of time should decrease. So first off, I can't turn 3 into 4 really easily, so I'm going to turn it into 1 first. 1 people, I know, is incorrect, but so we've divided the number of people by 3. We're going to times the amount of time by 3. If there's 3 times less people, it's going to take 3 times as long. So that would take 24 hours just for 1 person. For 8 people, then times by 8. Oh, sorry, not 8, 4. So times the number of people by 4, so we would divide the amount of time by 4, and that would give us 6 hours. Okay, the next page will be in the next video.